So we have properties and buildings, right? I have colleges. I would do any of these buildings. I just don't have the physical construction capacity to organize that. You know, government doesn't build. My government doesn't build, right? We contract out everything. And for us to contract out, you need a design, you need a plan, you need an RFP, and then you have to be able to pay for it. The only government that builds is the federal government.
And how many beds would you like to create?
Well, I'll ask Dr. Zucker. What do you think the capacity differential could be between the number of ICU beds we have, 3,000, by the way, 80% of occupied of the current ICU beds. So even if you had beds to get some of the people out of the ICU beds, right? Because if 80% are occupied of 3,000, that means we only have 600 beds. We just said, how many are in ICU beds so far? Yeah, but how many did we say are in ICU beds?
We have 65.
65. So we have 65 today, and we only have 600.
So how many do you need?
Yeah.
Well, I think this goes to the modeling that we're working on to try to figure out the spread of disease, the period of time, as the governor mentioned about the issues of flattening that curve. That will help us determine how many you need, because you don't want to have all of them at one time. If you flatten that curve, you can spread that over a period of time. And we have a team trying to model that out, and then I can answer your question more directly.
I would say this, non-scientific based answer, which I would not rely on because I rely on the good doctor in science. My number, you need thousands. You're going to be thousands short.
Of ICU beds.
Thousands.
Thousands of ICU beds.
Thousands.
Governor, have you spoken with federal officials?
Now, and have it had any success in trying to purchase more?
You cannot purchase more ventilators. We have several thousand.
Enough for every ICU bed at this point? So
The ICU beds have the ventilators. We have 3,000 ventilators.
Consider
You could use thousands, you will need thousands of more ventilators.
Could you,
scary.
Yeah.
Governor, could you please expand on what you mean by non-essential services for the court system? What do you think that wraps into?
Arraignments have to happen, child protective services have to happen, family court emergency orders has to happen, non-essential motion practice, motions that you could hear later on, civil matters that you could hear later on. I'll leave that to the chief judge, but anything that is public safety is essential. Anything that is criminal justice is essential, but any matter that is not time sensitive, that is about money recoveries as opposed to a more imminent need, let the chief judge make those decisions.
federal officials about the potential for domestic travel restrictions in and out of
Nope.
New York?
What's the numbers? I couldn't see on the board for New York City. What are the new totals now?
Not that one. New York City,
329. 29.
And also, what more can you tell us about the new death? Where was this individual? What county and what hospital was she treated at?
Sure. So there was one individual who was an elderly person that was identified yesterday who had multiple medical conditions, and we're getting more information about that person was in a New York City hospital.
Do you know which hospital?
We usually don't like to give out the hospital names.
Yesterday, Mayor de Blasio said Wyckoff Medical, so.
Well, there are three deaths that the governor mentioned, 2 yesterday and then the 1 today. One of those was also, well, the others are also with many other medical conditions as well.
Okay, so 3 deaths total or 4?
There are 3 deaths total, yes.
3 deaths total. Okay.
And
2
the
yesterday and 1 today.
The 79-year-old woman today was in New York City? Is that
That
right?
died in New York City.
Died in New York City.
When was she first admitted, or when did she die?
She
Yesterday?
died